Hello and welcome to beautiful Bali, Indonesia. This is one of the biggest tourist attractions in the world for good reason, and I'm going to talk about that. Bali was discovered in, I want to say, the early 70s by the surfer, hippie, Vietnam War protester, genre of people. They discovered Bali and they turned it into a major tourist attraction, which is what it is today. Over time it grew, got more popular, became more well known, and eventually it just took off and become a cash cow for Indonesia. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about Bali and why it's such a special place, and why it's unique not only to the world but unique to Indonesia as well. I want to say it's formally known by the locals as the Bali Kingdom, though it's not recognized formally and officially by the Indonesian government. Okay, and that has to do with the history of Bali, which I won't talk too much about, but it does have its own unique culture. About 84% of the people here practice the Hindu religion. Okay, and there's about 4.2 million people here. Denpasar, if I said that right, has over 800,000 people in it, and that's the largest city. I said 84% of the people are Hindu, about 13% are Muslim, okay, which is what the majority of Indonesians are, Muslim. It's about 3% Christian, and then the rest is, Buddhism and other religions. Bali is really the only place where you see Hinduism in Indonesia, because it is. It all has to do with the history of this place, which I'm not going to elaborate on, but I will talk a little bit about the Hinduism, because that is what makes it special. We arrived when there was a holiday going on, a big Hindu holiday, and we got to see some ceremonies and people marching. You had ceremonies going on, people wearing all the native attire, and scooters are everywhere. You got people riding scooters. We saw a couple scooters with 4 people on them, a couple kids and a man and a woman. And that's a part of the Balinese culture. Scooters are big, and they're fearless here. I mean, they weave through traffic and cut around cars and trucks like it's nothing. And I can only imagine what the fatality rate is like here, with knowing how aggressive they drive on those scooters. As far as languages, they do speak English, although it's not really recognized as one of the languages. They do speak a lot of English. Balinese is spoken here, Indonesian is spoken here, along with something called Malay, Balinese, or something like that. I'm sure there's some other tribal languages maybe they speak as well. 80% of the economy of Bali comes from their tourism. Okay, and speaking of 80% of international travelers who come to Indonesia come to Bali and Bali alone. Okay, because that's how precious of a jewel this place really is. Weather's nice all year round. It's actually cheap to travel here. They got a lot of nice resorts for a decent price, and it's like Hawaii, but much cheaper. It's the same thing I said about the Philippines. Okay, and that's one of the benefits of traveling and living in Asia, is everything is so much cheaper. If you're an American or an Australian or a British, New Zealander, South African, Canadian, whatever, you're coming from a developed first world country, you come to Indonesia, Philippines, places like that, somewhere in Asia, and even Latin America, you're going to save a lot of money. Your dollar or whatever it is that you have is going to go a long way. So also, as far as recognition, 2017, which was last year, TripAdvisor named Bali as the top tourist destination in the world. That's a huge honor, because TripAdvisor is big time, okay, among travelers. Even though I don't really subscribe to their stuff, they're a very credible source if you're looking to book flights, hotels, and looking for reviews on places and looking for what's popular and what's affordable and whatnot. TripAdvisor is the place to go. Okay. Also, it was Bali is part of the Coral Triangle, which has the highest biodiversity of marine species. Okay, and that's something they boast about quite a bit for good reason. Okay, which is good for scuba divers and snorkelers and swimmers and people like that who are big into aquatics and marine activities, marine sports and whatnot. 2011, it was ASEAN. They held the 2011 ASEAN Summit here. Okay, the 2013 APEC Summit was held here. Miss World 2013 pageant was held here. This is a very popular place worldwide. Okay, not too far north from Australia, so you get, as far as tourism, international tourists Australians make up the largest portion of international travelers, and coming in second place is Chinese, and then you have Japanese, and then Indians, and then I want to say the Americans are like 7 or 8 on the list because they don't have direct flights from the United States, even Hawaii, from Hawaii to Bali, so it's not as easy for American people to get here as it is for Chinese and Australians and Japanese and even Indians. Okay, so but there are a lot of Americans that do come here. Okay, so you know, most of the tourism is focused on the south. That's where the airport is, okay, around Kuta and those places, because people get here and they don't want to travel all over the island. They want to find out what's here, and that's where most of the Western restaurants are, currency exchange places. You know, some of the best hotels are down there, resorts, some popular beaches are down there, and also it's close to Nusa Penida, which is where we stayed a couple days at, and that's probably one of the best places to go in Bali. That's a separate island, but it's really, really nice over there, and I'm going to post a lot of stuff on my blog about that and on my article, you know, when I write that and put that together. So you have Kuta. You know, the beach in Kuta is really popular among foreigners. People coming in and out of here, not staying very long, just a couple days, they go to the Kuta beach. They have festivals all year round. Okay, you have Sinar, which is East Bali. Ubud, you have the monkey forest, okay, the sacred monkey forest, as well as the rice terrace, and you can also do some rafting, okay, in Ubud. Ubud is kind of in the south central, so it takes a while to get there. You know, you're not surrounded by water. You got to travel. If you're in Ubud, you're closer to everywhere around the island, but if you're not in Ubud, it takes a couple hours to get there, an hour, 2, 3 hours to get there, depending on where you are. You have Mount Agung, okay, the mountain. There was a big volcano. I want to say last month there was a big volcano that erupted from Mount Agung. They call it Mountain Agung. And you have Lake Batur, which is also in East Bali, okay, East-North Bali. And you have the National Park, which is in West Bali, and they have tours, you know, that go there throughout all of these resorts. You know, even the airport, you can probably access a tour online or through the airport when you get here to go see the National Park in West Bali. We were going to see that, but we had to change our itinerary several times. We literally stayed at 3 different places, 2 places on Nusa Penida, one place that we booked here in East Bali, which is the Casa Ramadasa, which is a really nice resort, and it was a good price, and I was able to redeem some reward points because I use hotels.com all the time, and I had enough reward points so I was able to save a lot of money on 4 nights booking. I said Nusa Penida. You know, that's a really nice place. It is officially a part of Bali, and the same kind of people, you know, they have the Hindu culture there. We rode the scooter. We rode a scooter around a couple different days. The 2 days that we were there, we rode a scooter out to, it was Broken Beach and Angel's Billabong. Okay, we got to see the sunset. Oh man, it was awesome. It was awesome. I took like a 10-minute video of it. And then the next day we went out to, it was Atu Beach. Okay, and you had to literally climb down a cliff of stairs, really steep stairs. It was like pretty much climbing down a cliff, up and down a cliff to get down there to see it, but it was worth it. It was worth it. And it was in the evening where the sun was coming down, hitting the water just right. We had you know, we had some food and drinks down there, and it was a really good time. And I had my GoPro head cam. I was able to get like an hour and 45 minutes worth of scooter footage during the day and at night. So it was really nice. So Bali, Indonesia, one of the most popular places in the world to come visit. It's very, very inexpensive compared to places like Hawaii and you know, Cuba and maybe some other exotic places that you might, or Tahiti, other places you might be interested in going to. So Bali, Indonesia, come check it out. It's a wonderful place, and check out everything I have on my blog and on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook page and Twitter page, and of course Instagram in regard to Bali, Indonesia. All right, peace out. Is he done? Is he done? Okay. All right. That was good.